Hello, and welcome to Going for Broadway. I'm Eryn Wu, and each week I chat with playwrights, directors, actors, talent agents, and many others who live their lives in, on, and around the stage. I'm sharing their secrets so you, too, can join me on this journey towards Broadway. Of course the plot's ridiculous. It's opera.
Welcome to the Going for Broadway podcast with Eryn Wu. Eryn is a young performer who has acted and sung in many plays and has dreams of reaching Broadway. Each day is another step closer to that goal.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Going for Broadway. Today I'm honored to have the absolute best choreographer in the world sharing her insights and wisdoms with us. Miss Kimberlee Ferreira has been dancing seriously since the age of 12. Get that, 12, when she won her first dance scholarship to the Joffrey Ballet in New York. And so after that fantastic start, she went to Beaumont, Texas, and danced at the premier venues there, the Beaumont Civic Ballet, the Beaumont Opera, and the Jefferson Jazz Ballet. Then it was back to New York, where she found her love for the theater. Miss Kimberlee is currently the choreographer of all the shows at the Greenville Little Theater, and she's a co-director of the Southeast Dance Theater. She has choreographed just about everything. A Chorus Line, Tommy, Chicago, Anything Goes, and I've had the honor and great learning experience of being in some of her productions. Recently, Jesus Christ Superstar, and currently All Shook Up. Oh, ooh, yeah. All right, Ms. Kimberlee, thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. Yay!
Okay, so, has dance always been a passion for you?
It has. Pretty much my mother said I came out dancing. So I don't ever remember a time that I wasn't dancing or making up dances. She said the neighbors used to come over and ask her when I was about 2 years old to make me shimmy for them because I could shimmy better than anyone she'd ever seen. So I think she always knew it was in my blood.
Right. So was she like a classic dance mom type person?
Not at all. Not at all. My mom was awesome. She, my brother and I danced together. So I actually started dancing when I was 6, but I grew up in a really tiny town. So my first experience with dance was in the music room of my elementary school, where my dance teacher, who was my dance teacher forever, came from a big school in another town and taught just ballet 1 day a week in the music school. And our bar was the little chairs we sat in for music class. And that's where I took for years and years. And then my brother started dancing, so we danced together.
Awesome.
And she drove us everywhere. And then he decided he didn't want to dance anymore, that he wanted to be a musician. So my mother, basically, she wasn't a dance mom at all. She drove me everywhere for a long time. And I had 3 brothers, so I think they got neglected by mom because she was always driving me everywhere. And I have a really cool story about my mom that I'd love to share with you. It kind of tells you about her passion for what my passion was.
Sure.
The older I got, and there were extra conventions and things like that, and I'd started, auditioning for Joffrey Ballet summer workshops, there wasn't always enough money to send me to these extra things. And my mom was a tiny little person. She barely weighed over 100 pounds. And back in the day, you got money for giving blood. You don't anymore, but back in the day, you did. And my mother used to put ball bearings in her pocket so she would weigh enough to give blood to get money for me to do extra things. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so you appreciate those things. Like, it sounded crazy when I was little, but, when I was older, I was like, wow. Like, she did a lot of things to help me do what I wanted to do.
Oh.
I know.
So you have been dancing for a while, and so how long have you been choreographing?
Well, choreographing pretty much my whole life. My mom had a huge album collection, and I would get her albums, and I would just lock myself in my room and have my little box record player, and I would make up ballets and so many dances to the Jackson 5, the Osmonds, many a ballet. I would just stay in my room and make up things, and then the older I got, in high school, I would be asked to do the drill team numbers and girls who were in pageants would always come to me and say, can you choreograph a dance for me? So I basically always did it. It kind of came out of me, was always there. And then after I graduated and moved to New York and started dancing professionally, it was always a way when I wasn't doing a show to make money.
Oh, that's cool.
Know?
Cool.
Yeah. So it's something I always did. It just was part of me somehow.
Wow. Yeah. So, having been in a number of your shows and watching even more of them, your choreography is just so majestic and always, spot on. So what all do you have to take into account when coming up with a dance, like size of stage, number of people, skills, etc.?
Definitely all of those. The period of the piece, what the style is going to be, what the story is. Definitely size of stage. Doing Grease right now in Pelzer, because it's a smaller stage, is challenging, but I love the challenge of it. Right. Trying to find different ways to fit people and maybe even bringing it into the house. So definitely size of stage, definitely the skill of the cast. I mean, that's a huge thing. What the director wants to say is always a thought in your head, because there's their vision, which isn't just your vision, it's a collective vision. So there's a lot. There's really a lot that goes into it. Not just steps, but you know that.
Yes. Okay, so the choreography just sort of came natural to you, but is there a way for one to learn to be a choreographer, go to school for it? Like, are there places out there that teaches that? There are. You can get a dance degree, which always would entail dance history, choreography, technique, all the things, that go with dance. You can get choreography degrees. I don't have one. I never went to college. I know people who choreograph who did that whole route, and I know people who choreograph who didn't. I think school is never a bad choice anyway, so you definitely can. I think, like mine, I just feel it came naturally. Plus, we're going back a long time. I am pretty old now. Back in the day, it was like, I'm graduating and I'm going to New York. Today it would be like, I'm graduating and I'm going to go to college and maybe go to Juilliard and learn everything I can learn, and then I'm going to hit the world. So, but back in the day, it was a little different. No, but definitely you can go get those degrees. I think it's a personal thing that it helps you in either way. I was just always happened to be good at it. Thank God. Well, you're awesome.
Thank you.
So, yeah, being good at it. So do you see it as a specific and special skill, choreography?
I do. I danced. I did a lot of shows before I had Carlene got married and all that good stuff, and then just started choreographing. And you work with different people, and, some people, maybe, just their style, or everyone has a different style or a vision. I think I can just speak for me personally, I think the key more to my success is, I don't know, just knowing the people's skills. You know what I mean? Right. Like if you have an entire cast of people who are just fabulous dancers, then you can have fabulous dancing. If you have 3 or 4 fabulous dancers and 8 really good movers, you have to know how to use your people well. Basically, I guess is what I'm saying, to their ability, to the best of their ability, so they look good. And I've done shows before where they would try to make everyone do the same thing, although everyone doesn't have the same skill. Yeah. Some people are better singers, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think just knowing the capability of people and knowing how far I can push them. Right. I love pushing you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because being in All Shook Up Now, I mean, there's many parts where only a couple of us can do, and others are just like cheering them on just because we don't have those skills. But it's nice that you were able to work with that and figure that out.
And that is the beauty of it, And then, but the beauty of it too is that, and we'll speak All Shook Up, there are those parts where, the people are at the bars or the tables cheering the dancers per se on as they dance. But then there are the pieces in there where everyone comes together. Right. Mm-hmm. So you just, like you said, like you just can't relax in your laurels and go, well, she's not going to make me. Well, yes, I am.
Oh yeah.
And it's good to push people, but you don't want to put it so far over their head that it's just the whole thing's kind of uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Right. It's just knowing how to layer. I call it layering, personally. That's just what I call it for me. I call it layering a dance.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's like an onion. It's just layered, and there's usually hopefully in my head, like at least 3 layers to a dance, and that makes it interesting. And then you all come together, and that's like boom, and then it gets layered.
Yes.
So
yes.
I hope that answers your
It
question.
does. Okay, so, I've also been in productions where the choreography was just not as put together or polished or nowhere near close to what you've done. So, like, what are they missing? Like, what makes something have good choreography as to quote-unquote bad?
I think it's like a personal thing that one person's favorite show is another person's, least favorite show. So maybe bad or different isn't the word, but I think that comes off back to the skill set of the people. Normally the things I see that make me uncomfortable watching, the people can't do what they're asked to do, or they're asked to do too little. Like you really have to be able to tell the story you're telling. And a lot of times I think in choreography that gets lost, where a choreographer will just be like, well, on this 16 counts, kick ball change, step ball change, you know what I mean? It's just step.
Yes.
And it doesn't enhance your story, or it doesn't bring out an ebb or a lull or a huge accent in the music, because it's just about the steps. Where musical theater, it's all a story. So somehow it has to rise and fall,
right.
and grab you just like the lyrics would in a story. So that's for me personally. That's what I try to, it just can't be, we're going to do these steps right here.
Yeah.
it has to somehow enhance our story. You know?
Right.
Or make people stand up and cheer afterwards.
That works too. That works.
That works too.
Yes. So, how is musical theater dance different from any other type of dance? How would you compare them?
I don't know that they are. I always kind of feel like dance is dance, and a pas de bourrée is a pas de bourrée, a jeté is a jeté, like all the things are the steps. It's the style in which you do it. It's the story in which you do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I grew up a ballet dancer. So when back in the day, when I was growing up, you had to take ballet. We had to take ballet until we were 12 years old. And if you were still taking dance when you got to 12, that's when you could add in tap and jazz. Mm-hmm. And today that's like so completely crazy. So I feel like the steps they're the steps. It's really just the manner in which you do them, the style in which you do them. All Shook Up is pretty stylized.
Yes.
For the era, we could do the same little jiggly leg steps in a 20s dance just by changing a hand or something, and then it looks different, but still the same step.
Okay.
So, I really personally don't see a huge difference in the different kinds. It's just what you do with it.
So, being an actor, dancer in musical theater, is there anything specific that you should study in different types of dance to help you out there, or?
You should study everything that you can. You can't just be, in today's world, you can't just be a singer or an actor or a dancer. There's not enough hours in the day to study what all we should study.
Yes.
That's kind of how I think about it. You know, like my dancers who say they want to go on and dance, then I would say you need to be in acting and you need to be in voice. But then they say, well, I'm already at the studio 5 days a week. When do I fit that in? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think at some point there has to be this realization that if that really is your path, you have to somehow find a way to add in, if you're an actress, a dance and voice. If you're, a singer, acting and dance, you do have to find a way to incorporate a class just so you're aware of what's going on. When you get to an audition and someone says, like me, I shouted like words out at you earlier, like pas de bourrée, but I don't think, you can tell me, but I don't think I normally choreograph with terms. Like we're going to step, ball, change, and we're going to shot. I don't think I normally choreograph. I just say like step here and do this. But a lot of people do. So if you don't know what they're saying, you don't know what a box step is per se, you'll be like, But if you've already been in class, in a musical theater class or something, then you know. And you're like, oh, so I know what's coming. They said box step. I know that. So it makes it a little easier when you have a knowledge of something else. I grew up a dancer, and then my first audition for musical theater, I sang Happy Birthday. I mean, I was clueless, and thank God I got the job.
Yes.
Because they needed some dancers. but I really did sing Happy Birthday, and the musical director came to me afterwards and said, "You can sing. Don't ever sing Happy Birthday at an audition again." I'm like, "Yes, sir." So you learn as you go along. But definitely, I would just take everything I could. And I think we missed the boat here in Greenville, that we need to find that boat, and we need to get on it. That your generation, I don't think we have much like class-wise in Greenville for you. You can't just walk into a dance studio and say, "I want to take dance," when you're in a show all the time.
Right.
Because you would never make it to class. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you have rehearsal every day, for 2 months, and then you're off for a month, and you have rehearsal every day for another 2 months. I really wish that we had a place where we could focus, the kids through, like you, even if it was like 1 day a week, on dance, and the kids who really need to focus on the vocals could focus on vocals. Tim and I talk about things like this. We have grand ideas of grandeur.
Yes.
we do. But I really do wish we had that for y'all, a place where y'all could just go and take musical theater.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Wouldn't it?
Yes, because, people like me who don't have as much dance training as others, struggle a bit in, some complicated choreography. And in your productions where I've had a chance to be in, you've helped me figure it out, and there's others that help me be able to get by with it. But what am I going to do when you're not there, or they're not as friendly? I'd be really lost. So...
You won't be lost. You've done this forever.
Yeah. So, is there any other way to improve that skill if I can't be able to have enough time to go to a class?
Do. Keep doing musicals. It's like you learn by doing. You get better the more you do. Mm-hmm. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. There's so many of y'all, and you're all musical theater buddies, getting together in somebody's basement and just somebody making up something that you have to learn on the spot. I used to always make my students audition, every week or two, we would just have a mock audition.
Yes.
Just because it's good for you, to be put on the spot and have to do stuff. You just have to keep doing it. And then I really think that we should work on those classes for y'all.
Right. I love that.
I would too. But I think it would behoove us to do that.
Yes.
So the dancers feel better about singing, so the actors feel better about singing and dancing, mm-hmm. and so the singers feel better about acting and singing. That would it'd make our kids that much better, that much more ready to go. So I think we should do that.
Yeah. And so another director once told me that since most of those who get lead roles come from the ensemble, that in order to make it on Broadway, actors must be able to dance very well. Because if you can't dance well, then you'll never be able to make it the ensemble, let alone get a lead role. Do you think that theory is true, and do you think there's any exceptions to it?
Absolutely exceptions. I would pretty much never let anyone tell you that something was impossible. That would be for you to find out for yourself,
Right.
And nothing's ever impossible. Let's see. Spelling Bee, Into the Woods, Les Mis,
yes.
Man of La Mancha, Hands on a Hard Body. Did you see that? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Let's Sweeney Todd, The King and I, Kim and Miss Saigon,
right.
You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Those aren't chorus line dancers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
those are people who move well. I would say how you consider yourself, you can be, the dancer. I would have always considered myself a dancer, singer, actor. But you need to make sure that the two below what you consider yourself are up there, mm-hmm. Not just relying on one. I think everyone today, if you're an actor or a singer, it's great if you are that triple threat. But if you're not, there's a million things still that you could do. Next to Normal. There was no dancing in Next to Normal, and that was so fabulous.
That is a great show.
Oh my goodness,
mm-hmm.
right? So that there definitely are exceptions. Not that you don't want to ever give up on honing the other skills, but I don't think that's going to be the end of your career if you're not the best at the other. You just keep working at the other,
mm-hmm.
And making all of them better. So definitely not. I don't believe that at all. No.
So when you see a student actor perform, is there something special, some kind of spark maybe that you look for? Like, what separates a good performer versus a great performer who has awesome potential and may have a chance to do big things, like get on Broadway?
Well, I think it's probably different in each field. Like I would know that dancers, you would just see. You said spark. It is a spark. It's just something that you can't put your hands on. That they just effervesce. They glow. They stand out. Mm-hmm. Dancing wise, vocal wise, I can only go by my own hearing. Like the first time I heard Delvin, he was still in high school, and like his voice went through my body. And I don't recall that happening, so many times in my life where in a live room somebody's voice actually it went through my chest. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy cow.
For anybody that doesn't know, she was talking about Delvin Choice, who grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, where we are now, went to Wade Hampton High School and the Fine Arts Center, where I'm attending, and did shows at the Children's Theater and the Greenville Little Theater, to which both of us have done productions at. And he has gone on. He was on The Voice for a season and did really well on that show. Yeah,
Delvin's awesome. He just has that, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's funny. He can sing. But being in the dance world, so I always speak from the dance world, there are people who just have it naturally. I do believe that some of it can be taught, but not it. You know what I'm saying? Like those people, certain people that have it. And I've coached students who weren't great performers who I think became great performers, just by, giving them tips and things to think about, when they're on stage, and that they did become much better performers. But there are people definitely that just have the it factor.
Yes.
Definitely. Definitely.
So the 25 minutes you promised me is coming to a close very quickly. So just two more quick questions. What advice would you give to aspiring young actors like me and my audience to help them reach their goals in theater or anything, really?
I would say stay in class, learn everything you possibly can. Don't ever think that you know it all, because we never know it all. And things change so rapidly.
Yes, they do.
Just continue to learn and grow. And I would say in the work field, no matter if it's theater or, sitting at a desk or whatever, always be the hardest working person there, because someone will always take notice of that. And you will definitely get further ahead if you're the hardest working person, as opposed to a complaining kind of non-positive person.
Right.
So I would always just say, be positive, don't complain, work your booty off, and you will get ahead, and you'll get where you want to get. What else? Always be willing to try. I've taught children for so long, and I always think it's interesting how some kids automatically will just try something, and some kids will hem and haw over if they should try.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Just go for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just go for it. If that's your passion, if it's in your heart, that try. Don't not try. Don't be afraid to try, because something will always come out of your trying. Mm-hmm. You'll always be better off by trying. Yeah, and just stay in class. That's all.
And is there any advice that you would like to give to maybe the parents of these young actors?
Parents, that's pretty funny coming from a dance teacher. Be supportive of your kid. We don't, always choose the same path or get to the same place in the same path. Be supportive, non-judging or comparing, because we all, learn on our own. In our little town, I would love to see, and this is just me, and I've seen it a lot more, definitely in the last couple of years, just people branching out, where you would, used to see the same people only at the same theater, and now we seem to branch out a little more.
Yes,
and I think that's awesome. Go into Spartanburg, go in the Warehouse, go into Center Stage, go into Children, go everywhere, go to Fountain Inn, go to Pelzer, because you learn something from every experience.
Yes, you do.
I used to tell my kids, don't be a dance snob, because so many times that you get caught up in what you like, but what you like isn't always what's going to give you a job.
True.
So don't be that snob. Don't be, I only do hip hop, or I only do lyrical. Know it all. You got to know it all. You got to be a know it all. That's what I want to say. and support each other. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we get too caught up in, oh my gosh, you got that part. Just be, we need to be supportive.
Yes. If my audience ever wanted to reach you to get them to get you to do any choreography or get any tips from you, where could they find you?
You can always find me on the Greenville Little Theater website. Usually people will call there and leave messages, and then they get in touch with me, and I will holler back at you. Or I can give you my email. You can always reach me by email. It's Kimberlee, Kimberlee, Ferreira, Ferreira, at ymail.com. And that's just the letter Y, ymail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so very much again. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Eryn. I adore you, and I've loved working with you all these years. You're an incredible young lady.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.